Alright guys, this is Vin from Bombz, Anaheim, California. Today I'm going to show you how to pretty much set up your starter set. This is the first video, so please bear with me. It seems like we've been getting a lot of inquiries on how to set up a Cartomizer over the phone, through email, and you know what I mean? I always point the finger towards Google, YouTube, and it seems that majority of the people calling say they want us to show them. So here it is. We'll put out a video and see what kind of feedback we get. We can move forward from here. I'm sure there'll be future videos to come. Alright, so how to set up your kit that you just bought or somebody just bought you as a gift or whatever. You're here to quit smoking cigarettes just like everybody, or you know what I mean, pick up an alternative, you know, something that's tobacco harm reduction. And the last thing you want is a hassle. Nobody wants a hassle. You want to keep it simple. You know, want to just pick up your vape and vape. Not sit there and play with the Cartomizer, play with the settings, play with the voltages. So anyway, so let's get to it. Alright, so we'll start off with a little bit of product knowledge, and then we'll move forward onto saturating Cartomizer, installing it into the tank, filling the tank, and maybe proper voltage for the Cartomizer resistance that you went with. Okay, so today I'm running with a variable wattage Hana mod. Yeah, probably a little bit excessive for this first video, but a device is a device. It's going to be the unit that's going to deliver the voltage to the atomizer slash Cartomizer, whichever it is that you're using, which ultimately has a heating element in it that's going to bring the juice to the boiling point where it becomes a vapor. Okay, so whatever device it is. Some devices don't have voltage adjustments, some devices do. Some look like pens, some look like boxes, others look like, you know, I don't know, people say some funny things about how large these units could get, you know. Okay, anyways, let's move forward. Your device delivers the voltage to the atomizer that then produces the vapor through a heating element that boils the juice. The tank. This tank is what feeds the Cartomizer the fluid. Now obviously we have our e-liquid. Alright, today I'm running some e-liquid pink starburst. Great stuff. Okay, let's go ahead and put some things aside. Clear it up a little bit. Alright, so let's go to saturating the Cartomizer. And the question is, why saturate? And I'll explain as we go. Go ahead and pull these caps off. This is a Bogue Cartomizer. It's got a bottom plug in that bottom cap. The top cap, the plug will be in the Cartomizer. Alright. And get that out there. Sometimes it's easier if you have something to poke in there. These two plugs are trash. So there we have it. Cartomizer, two caps. There's a lot of different methods online on how to saturate a Cartomizer. I've heard of a procedure where you put 2-3 drops to the top and you blow on it. Put 3 drops and you blow on it, and you continue for however long until fluid starts to come out of the punched hole. So right on the side of the Cartomizer is going to be a punched hole. Once the fluid starts coming out, it's pretty obvious that we are now saturated. Methods of where you allow it to sit, put about 4 or 5 drops, wait 5 minutes, 4 or 5 drops, wait 5 minutes, etc. Today we're going to do the cap method. So these are the 2 caps that it came with when it's brand new. Okay, what we're going to do is, of the 2 caps, there's a taller cap. We're going to fill this 75%. So, taller cap, 75% or so. And now we're going to introduce this Cartomizer thread side down the side that screws onto the device. Thread side down, we're going to introduce this cartomizer into that pool of fluid. What it's going to do is it's going to force fluid up through the draw channel, the air channel right there, right down the center. If you look through the top of your carto, there's going to be a hole. And that's going to be your air channel. When you draw on your device, that's where the air is actually coming from, where you inhale it. It comes from right between the device and the cartomizer. And you can see little holes at the bottom as well. Anyways, thread side down, introduce it into that, and you'll see it. Nice and slow, you can see fluid coming right up the top. Alright? What I like to do is get this top cap. I'm going to put it on there. So the question is, what are we doing? As the fluid comes up the draw channel, it's going to soak right back into the polyfill. Okay? So from here, we're going to go and force it all the way down, bottom out that cartomizer in there. Okay? At this point, it's pretty flooded. As you can see, the fluid is all the way to the brim. And what we want to do now is get that fluid to soak into that polyfill. We either let it sit here for a good 15-20 minutes, maybe longer, who knows. I've never done that process, I've only heard of it. But what we like to do is with this top cap, you either squeeze it, push it up and down like so. But what we're doing is we're going to go ahead and oscillate that fluid up and down into the polyfill. Get that polyfill to absorb all of it. And just continue. And if you're having trouble doing that, what you can do is you just squeeze it. And take a quick look in there. Continue. And what we're looking for at this point is a damp polyfill, cotton. You want the polyfill to be damp. You don't want to look in there and just see it full of fluid. At that point, it's still, all the fluid's still at the top. Okay, we want to get it all the way down. That heating element in there needs to be saturated, needs to be damp, needs to be wet. We don't want no hot spots in there. And there it is. Okay. So as explained earlier, inside the cartomizer, you have the heating element, and that heating element needs to be saturated. Okay. If it's not wet, I'm gonna say it's not gonna keep it consistently cool. If it's running dry in certain spots, you might get hot spots, and that's what's gonna greatly reduce the lifespan of the heating element or the cartomizer. Or if it runs completely dry, if you just installed it with no juice in it, the heating element is just gonna burn the polyfill, and you're gonna get a burnt taste. Alright, so from there we're gonna pull it out. Quick wipe. As you can see, there's no more fluid in here. It's all in the cartomizer. Okay. From this point, we're going to put it onto the tank. And I'll show you how to refill. To make life easier, what I like to do is I like to spin the cartomizer right onto my device. Give me some leverage to work with. Okay? From here, we're going to put the tank on. This is a 505 tank. Great Pyrex glass tank. Pretty, beautiful. You know what I mean? They're all the same. 510 tanks, well, they're not all the same, but you know what I mean. They all serve this purpose. It's a reservoir to feed the cartomizer through the punched hole juice. Okay? With the 505 tank, I have this recessed side that is designed so that it could take the Smoke Tech dual coil cartomizer with a flange on the bottom. Just keep it locked in there. And then the flush side. And most of your Smoke Tech tanks will also have that same recess cutout so that you could accommodate for the flange type cartomizer. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this on. That recess side is gonna be towards the bottom. The flush side towards the top where the drip tip goes, okay? So let's go ahead and put that in there. Alright. Let me get my drip tip, and I'll show you how to refill. Once again, there's a lot of different methods of how to refill. Okay, so this is our device in its vaping state, and you can find where the punched hole is in a cartomizer. You'll see it's towards the bottom, but it's not all the way at the bottom. Some people try and vape it all the way down. What ends up happening is you're going to starve that cartomizer. You want to make sure the fluid level is always above that punched hole. So in the event that it's time for a refill, what we're going to do is we're going to pull the drip tip off. And we're going to bring this tank up off that cartomizer, just to where the top of the cartomizer clears the top cap. Sounds confusing. Okay, bear with me. This 505 tank can be finicky at times. Alright, so as you can see, we're going to bring this right off the cartomizer, just to where it clears the top cap. Okay, what that's going to do is going to give us room for pivoting. We're going to pivot to one side, just like that, and we're going to run fluid down that sidewall. Shake your juice up and just load it. Just along the wall. Try to avoid the center of the cartomizer and just get it in the tank. But in the event that it runs down the cartomizer, I'm going to show you how to clear the flood as well. So at this point, we're going to center out the tank and bring it down, just like that. Alright, wipe any excess. Alright, so in the event that you flooded your cartomizer during the refill process of overflowing it into the cart, or just directly putting it into the cart, and you'll know when you go to vape on it, it's gonna bubble and it's gonna be all in your mouth and you're gonna be like, ah. So what you do to clear the cart is you're gonna take it off, completely off your device, get a napkin out, and we're gonna blow right through it, and you're gonna blow out any restriction until it's just a nice clean airflow, just like that. We're good. Clean those threads off, clean these real quick too. Spin it on and let's test it. This is a low resistance cartomizer, approximately 2 ohms to 2.2 ohms. I wouldn't recommend to exceed 4.2 ohms. I mean 4.2 volts, I apologize. And if it's variable wattage, I wouldn't recommend too much higher than 8.4, 8.5, because that's in the ballpark of about 4.2, 4.3 volts or so. Let's check real quick. At 8.3 watts, it's telling me it's 4.2 volts. And let's test it. There you have it, guys. Cartomizer Saturation and tank refill. Feel free to leave me a comment. This is my first video, and I'll definitely be following up on the feedbacks. Thanks, guys. Once again, Bombz, Anaheim, California, Epic Juice LLC. Thank you.